Let me hit you with something real right out the gate. If you're waiting for life to finally get better so you can feel happy, you're going to be waiting a long time. Happiness, it's not waiting for you at your next job. It's not hiding in your next relationship. It's not locked behind a perfect bank balance, a dream vacation, or 10 pounds lost. Happiness is built, and it's built daily. This isn't another feel good, fluff-filled motivational speech. This is a roadmap, a battle plan, because if you're waking up dreading your day, glued to your phone, numbing out with distractions, then it's time to stop sleepwalking through your own life. You're here for a reason. You clicked on this for a reason, because a part of you is done feeling stuck, done just getting through the day. You want to feel alive, and I'm about to show you how to do that, so sit tight. You're not just going to listen to this speech, you're going to feel it in your bones, and you're going to walk out with tools that flip the switch today. Happiness isn't some finish line. It's not a final destination that magically appears after you've hit all your life goals or cleaned up every messy corner of your existence. That's the biggest lie we've been sold. I'll be happy when. No. You won't if you're not practicing happiness now. In the middle of your messy, imperfect, work-in-progress life, you won't suddenly find it on the other side of a promotion, a relationship, or a number on the scale. Because happiness is not waiting for you out there. It's a daily choice you have to make, and that means no more outsourcing your joy to the world around you. It's time to take it back. This is about waking up and saying, "Today, I am in control." Not my job, not the market, not my mood, me. You don't need permission to feel good about your life, and you don't need your life to be perfect to feel good either. You need presence. You need awareness. You need to stop letting your circumstances dictate your emotional thermostat. Let me tell you something powerful. Every single day, you're faced with thousands of tiny decisions. Each one is a fork in the road. Do I react or respond? Do I complain or express gratitude? Do I stay in bed or get up and move my body? Do I replay the past or create something in the present? Every one of those micro decisions adds up. Stack enough positive ones together, and you've got momentum. Stack enough joy, stealing ones, and you're spiraling. That's how this works, and you're not a victim of it. You're the architect. So many people walk through life waiting for happiness to show up like a surprise guest. But here's the hard truth. Happiness doesn't visit people who don't invite it in, and invitation looks like action. It looks like doing the uncomfortable thing that honors your values. It looks like getting off autopilot and making eye contact with your own life again. You know, those people who seem lit from within, it's not because their lives are easier, it's because they've learned to generate happiness regardless of their external reality. They've built it like a muscle. And you can too, but like any muscle, you've got to use it or you lose it. That means showing up for your life, even on the hard days, and asking, what can I be proud of right now? What can I do that aligns with who I want to be? Happiness is not a feeling you chase, it's a state you create. You build it out of habits, thoughts, and decisions, and the amazing part, you don't need a perfect morning, a perfect job, or a perfect relationship to do that. You need presence. You need to catch yourself when you start spiraling into old thought patterns, because they will come. Your brain is wired to spot threats and repeat familiar stories, and most of those stories are drenched in fear, self-doubt, and scarcity. That's why you've got to override them, not with toxic positivity, but with conscious redirection. With the courage to pause, breathe, and remind yourself, I don't have to believe everything I think. I don't have to sit in this mental garbage dump just because it feels familiar. The key to happiness is self-respect. When you act in a way that's aligned with your own values, when your behavior matches your vision, your confidence and peace go through the roof. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to be proud of how you showed up. That feeling, That's where happiness lives. It's not found in a champagne toast or a once-a-year vacation. It's in the moment you chose discipline over distraction. It's in the moment you said no to drama and yes to peace. It's in the way you kept a promise to yourself even when no one else was watching. Because that's the version of you who knows how to feel joy, not someday, now. Most people don't realize how much power they give away in the first 10 minutes of their day. They wake up, they roll over, they grab their phone, and they go straight into reaction mode, checking texts, scrolling social media, reading bad news, and just like that, the tone for the whole day is set. You've already trained your brain to start outside of yourself, to respond, to compare, to consume, and now you're wondering why you feel anxious, drained, or stuck before breakfast. The truth is, the way you start your day becomes the way you live your day. If you want to be more focused, more confident, more joyful, then it begins the moment your eyes open in the morning. That's your launch pad. And if you're not using it intentionally, you're wasting the most powerful part of your day. You don't need a 2-hour morning routine. You don't need a sunrise meditation retreat or some perfect Instagrammable ritual. What you need is control, just a few minutes of real, grounded, deliberate action before the chaos of the world comes knocking. Because once the world gets in, it's harder to get centered. But if you take back the first few minutes, no phone, no noise, just you create the mental space to lead the day instead of chasing it. You can drink a glass of water and hydrate your body, which has just spent hours asleep and dehydrated. You can step into the light literally and remind your brain that it's time to get alert, time to be present. You can move, stretch, breathe, just enough to signal that you are alive and in control. These are simple things. They don't require talent, motivation, or money. They require a decision. People keep searching for hacks and secrets when the truth is right in front of them. Your brain is most programmable right after waking up. So what are you programming it with? Fear, noise, distraction, or clarity, intention, purpose? It doesn't take long, just 5-10 minutes, but those minutes matter. They tell your nervous system, I'm safe, I've got this, I'm in charge, because once you show yourself that you can own the beginning of your day, something shifts. You stop waiting for the world to give you peace, and you start building it on purpose. You show up differently, more grounded, less reactive, more powerful. That's the power of your morning. It's not about perfection. It's about taking back the wheel before the world pulls you in 50 different directions. Negative thoughts don't knock politely. They kick the door in and make themselves at home, and if you don't catch them, they take over the entire room. That's how it works. One small thought, I'm not good enough, this day's going to suck. Nothing ever changes, can spiral so fast you don't even realize it's running your life. And the longer you let that loop play out, the more it becomes automatic. That's why you've got to learn how to interrupt it. In real time, not later, not after you've overanalyzed everything. Right in the moment that voice in your head starts to get loud, you snap out of it by calling it out. Literally, say it out loud, nope, not today. When you name it, you claim control over it. And when you interrupt the loop, you create a gap, a small space where you can insert a better thought, a better decision, a better action. This is where people get it wrong. They think they have to eliminate all negative thoughts to be happy. That's impossible. You can't shut them off, but you can override them. You don't need perfect peace in your mind. You need to be the one holding the remote. And sometimes you've got to change the channel manually. You hear the self-doubt, change it. You feel the panic coming, change it. Not by pretending it's not there, but by deciding you're not going to obey it. The thought might show up, but it doesn't get to drive. That part's up to you. Here's the truth most people never learn. Your brain isn't wired for happiness. It's wired for survival, and survival means scanning for threats, avoiding pain, anticipating problems. So unless you intervene, your brain will always drift toward negativity. That's not your fault. It's just your default. But your default isn't your destiny. You can interrupt the pattern and choose differently. You can train your brain to calm down, slow down, and focus forward. It starts with awareness. The second you notice the spiral, the second you feel the tension in your chest or hear the negative thought, pause. Break the rhythm, clap your hands, stand up, say something, move your body. Physical interruption is powerful because it sends a clear message to your brain. We're not doing this again. We're not living on repeat. We're rewriting the script. That one small act of disruption is the beginning of everything changing. You want to know one of the fastest ways to feel happier? Stop ignoring the things you love. Seriously. Most of us walk through life so consumed by obligations and deadlines and what needs to get done that we forget to do the things that actually make us feel alive. And I'm not talking about huge, dramatic life changes here. I'm talking about the small stuff that lights you up, listening to music that moves you, walking outside without your phone, cooking something just because it tastes amazing, painting, dancing, writing, laughing with your weirdest, most unfiltered friend. These things aren't extra, they're essential. They remind you that life isn't just about surviving, it's about experiencing, feeling, being in it. That's what joy is. And if you're not deliberately making space for joy, it will never show up on its own. We've been conditioned to believe that fun has to be earned, that rest is a reward, that pleasure is optional. That's nonsense. Joy is fuel. It's not frivolous, it's functional. It recharges you. It resets your nervous system. It gives your brain a break from the grind and your soul a reason to keep going. And yet we feel guilty for taking time to enjoy ourselves. We apologize for having needs. We shove our passions to the side like they're distractions instead of the very things that remind us why we're here in the first place. Enough of that. You've got one life, one shot, and you don't get extra points for being miserable while doing everything right. Happiness lives in those moments when you feel most like yourself. When you're not performing, when you're not trying to impress anyone, when you're just fully there, present, connected, real. That doesn't happen by accident. You have to create those moments, schedule them, protect them, prioritize them the same way you would a doctor's appointment or a meeting with your boss. Because the truth is, you show up better for every part of your life when you're tapped into what brings you joy. You parent better, you work better, you think clearer, you lead stronger. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and joy is what fills it. So instead of waiting for some magical future where everything is calm and quiet and perfect, start now. Find one thing today that makes you smile and do it with full attention. No guilt, no agenda, just presence, just joy. That's how you start to reclaim your energy. That's how you build daily happiness from the inside out. Let's get one thing straight. Your environment is either building your happiness or stealing it, period. You cannot expect to feel positive, focused, and alive if you're constantly surrounded by chaos, clutter, or people who drain the life out of you. Your space matters. Your energy matters, and the people you allow into your life, they matter more than you think. If you're trying to be happy while swimming in negativity every day, it's like trying to run a marathon with a weighted vest strapped to your chest. You can't out-hustle toxic energy. You've got to clean it up. That means looking around and getting honest. What's in your space that doesn't serve you? Who's in your life that doesn't respect your boundaries? What routines or habits are keeping you stuck in a cycle that's killing your joy? Happiness isn't just a mindset. It's also a setting, and you have the power to shift that setting. Start with your physical space. You don't have to redecorate your entire home, but if your room feels heavy, disorganized, or chaotic, it will weigh on you every single day. Clear it, clean it, light a candle, open a window, move things around until it feels like a place you actually want to be in. Why? Because your outer world reflects your inner world, and when you take care of one, the other follows. This is about setting yourself up for success, giving your brain fewer distractions, less noise, and more clarity. Now look at the people who lifts you up, who inspires you to be better, who listens without judgment. Keep those people close, and then look at the other side, who constantly complains, who makes you doubt yourself, who only shows up when they need something. You don't need to cut everyone out of your life, but you do need boundaries. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because your happiness does. This is your one shot, and you don't owe anyone access to your energy just because they've always had it. You get to decide who's in the room with you mentally, emotionally, and physically. And when you make that shift, even slightly, everything changes. The truth is, most people are constantly being shaped by the environment around them without even realizing it. But once you wake up to it, you can design a space and a circle that supports the best version of you. Not the version that's just surviving, but the one that's truly living. That version of you needs light, needs space, needs freedom from noise, and needs to be surrounded by people and things that feed your joy, not drain it. Most people are waiting to feel motivated before they take action. They're sitting around hoping that someday they'll wake up energized, confident, excited, and then they'll finally start going after what they want. But that's completely backwards. Motivation doesn't just show up. You don't feel your way into action. You act your way into feeling. You move first. You decide first. You show up before you feel ready. That's how momentum is built. That's how confidence is built. And that's how happiness becomes something you experience daily instead of something you're endlessly chasing. You don't wait for permission to feel good. You generate it on purpose, through motion, through decisions, through habits. Think about it. When was the last time you sat on the couch thinking about all the things you need to do and magically felt amazing afterward? Probably never. But the moment you get up and take one step, one email, one dish in the sink, one workout, one uncomfortable conversation, you start to feel different. You start to feel capable. You feel lighter, because action is what turns the mental pressure into real progress. And progress is where happiness hides. You don't need to finish the race today. You just need to move forward 1 inch, one task, one small act of courage. You also need to understand this truth. Your brain will never naturally push you toward discomfort, even if that discomfort leads to happiness on the other side. It's wired to keep you safe, not satisfied. So it's going to resist the gym. It's going to resist putting yourself out there. It's going to resist the unfamiliar, even if the unfamiliar is exactly where the joy lies. That's why waiting to feel ready is a trap. You're never going to feel ready to change your life. You just have to start. That's the magic, that's the power, and that's where happiness begins. Not in the dream, but in the doing. Happiness isn't this passive state that falls into your lap. It's an outcome of repeated, deliberate action, and those actions don't have to be massive. They just have to be consistent. 5 minutes of movement, one healthy meal, one decision to go to bed earlier. One time you choose to speak kindly to yourself instead of tearing yourself down. That's how the emotional tide begins to turn. You build happiness through motion, not magic, through choice, not chance. Because when you start showing up for yourself, you stop waiting for life to feel good, and you start creating a life that actually does. Here's the bottom line. Happiness isn't some magical destination. It's not waiting for you at the end of your to-do list or hiding behind your next achievement. It's something you build moment by moment, choice by choice, every single day. You start by reclaiming your mornings. You stop letting your mind spiral and start interrupting the negativity in real time. You bring back the things that make you feel alive. You clean up your space and protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. And above all, you take action, not when you feel like it, not when it's convenient, but now, because happiness isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. Every day you get a brand new chance, a reset, a fresh start, and the decisions you make in the next 10 minutes could completely shift the way you feel for the next 10 hours. That's the power you've had all along. That's what no one ever taught you. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are just one honest decision away from taking your joy back. One decision to move. One decision to breathe. One decision to stop living on autopilot and start living awake. So don't just watch this and get inspired. Go live it. Start small. Start messy. Just start, because when you do, you stop waiting for happiness to find you, and you finally realize it's been inside you all along. You just needed to get out of your own way and let it through. Now go. Be loud about your joy. Be deliberate with your energy, and never forget, you are one choice away from a completely different life.